How do you know if you've made the right decision? Did you choose the right person to date? Did you pick the right college? Did you pick the right sport to go all in on? Look, life is filled with decision after decision, and they all feel big because they direct you to the next thing. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you on how to know if you made the right decision, how to like your decisions, and how to trust your decision-making skills. My name is Trish Blackwell. I'm your confidence coach. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome to my channel. Make sure you hit subscribe, and if you enjoy this video, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about decision-making and self-trust and how confidence really seals them together. And here's where I want you to start. You become a good decision maker and you start liking your decisions more when you start to believe that you are good at making decisions. One of the complicated things about being human is when we commit to a decision, we then get compare and despair. We start thinking that maybe it wasn't the right choice. Maybe the grass is greener there. Maybe that relationship is better. Maybe that job would have made me more money. Maybe I should have committed to a different school. Maybe things would be better. And fundamentally, we are asking ourselves, maybe my circumstances would be better and maybe I would be happier. Here's where I want to start. The baseline of what I'm going to share with you today in our coaching is that your happiness is completely separate from your external circumstances. So that other school, you would not have been happier. That other relationship, you would not have been happier. You are the one who has control over whether or not you're happy. And this is a good thing because then it challenges you to reassess your decisions and make a decision to be happy with them. In this video, I'm gonna give you 5 ways to help you trust your decision making. But before we go that, I want you to know that there's no such thing as wrong choice. It's just a choice. So whatever decision you made, you just made a choice. It's a decision. So that decision, that choice is a choice. And what's important is that you make the next decision. And that next decision is that you're gonna have your own back. So you make a decision and you commit and you follow it all the way through. Now, let's hypothesize. Let's go with the school. Did I choose the right school? Well, if you're in the 3rd month or 3rd week of the school and you're second guessing, well, commit, follow through whatever timeline you gave yourself, that first full semester, that first full year. Then once you've really given something a fair chance and you've done all of the mindset work to say, I'm gonna embrace my place, I'm gonna find what's good, I'm gonna lean in here, and I'm gonna create good results. And if I still believe there's a better decision, that's when I can go to that better decision. So first we've gotta make the decision and then commit to it. The problem is when we don't commit, that's when we start second guessing, we start overthinking, we start going back and forth. And I want you to commit. So there's no right or wrong decision. It's just, are you making decisions that you're gonna then support? And like I like to say, will you have your own back? And the challenging thing is when you question yourself, it spirals you into overthinking and stress, and then you're convincing yourself that you could have been happier somewhere else. And that is not necessarily true. So let me give you the 5 things you can do to learn to trust yourself better, to trust yourself more. And the first thing is, actually, this isn't on the list. This is a freebie. Whatever I choose, it will be the right decision. Another thing I like to tell myself, whatever I choose, it will be the right decision with the information I have. And if I need to change my decision and course correct as I go, I can. There's so much pressure we put on ourselves to make the perfect decision, but when you realize there is no such thing, you're set free. So you're going to decide to do something and then correct as you go. So every decision can also be directed. The first thing to know is I want you to decide that you make good decisions. Now, I used to not believe this because I used to beat myself up on bad decisions I used to make. It's time to separate that. And if you feel like you've made poor decisions in the past, you can reframe that story and tell yourself, in the past, I've made decisions, but then I've made decisions to correct those decisions. Therefore, the evidence speaks to the fact that I'm good at making decisions. So there you have it. Number one, I am good at making decisions. Number two, give yourself a time frame to make a decision. This is so important. People put off decision making because we think, oh, well, maybe in a little bit I'll have more information. Maybe in a little bit I'll know more. Maybe next week I'll make a better decision. And the reality is you still have the same information often. And a decision that we delay is a decision that just grows out of proportion. And then with that growth comes pressure that increases. And pressure creates self-doubt. So let's put a timeline. Maybe you need to give yourself 3 days to make a decision. Maybe it's 2 weeks. Maybe it's 20 minutes. But give yourself a timeline and it will alleviate a lot of the overthinking. Number 3, trust that you will make a good decision with the information you have. So this goes back to something we've already coached on, is that you're not gonna have all the information. You're not gonna always know everything. But what if we just gave you permission to make decisions with the information that you know? Trust that you have information and that that's enough to make a good decision and move forward with that. Number 4, I want you to commit to the decision that you make and then have your own back. Go all in on that career. Be so proud of yourself for investing in coaching. Be so committed to the relationship that you decide you're not going to look around anywhere else. You're focusing on building your connection with that person. Be so all in on the school you just enrolled at, that you are the top, most spirited person that could represent that school. Like, just go all in. Have your own back. And like your decisions, when you like your decisions and you know why you made that decision, even if it's just you can list out 2 or 3 things about why it's a good decision for you. And your brain's gonna go, but what? And every time your brain goes a little wild, you go back and go, hey brain, remember I like this decision. I like this decision. Something in my gut told me this is where I belong. My gut told me this. I like this decision because I like the mascot. If you like your reasons, that's enough. Number 5, I want you to determine to find a way to make your decision a good one, which means when you have your own back and you've made a decision, you make that decision that you're going to be happy. You make the decision that I make good decisions, therefore this decision is going to move my life in a positive direction. Doesn't mean that the plan's going to be perfect or the path is perfect, but I'm determined and I've made a decision that this is moving me in a positive direction. And if that's the case, then I can drop the overthinking. Sometimes we make decisions, one of our biggest mistakes is that we make decisions and then we go, well, but what if, and this, and we dabble and we wait for the decision to be perfect to make ourselves happy. And instead, I want you to decide that you're happy, be excited and be all in. The decision is moving you in the right direction. And the final thing that's really important for you to know about decision making is that there is no such thing as a perfect choice. And with every decision that you make, there will be good and there will be bad. There are going to be good things and bad things, hard things and beautiful things. That is part of the human experience. So if you embrace both and you don't take them as a sign of, oh, did I make the wrong decision? No, I made a decision. My decision was good and I stuck to it. And you can avoid the thing that when we don't make decisions or we don't think that we're good at making decisions leads to decision fatigue. And decision fatigue and discontentment makes trusting yourself harder. And I really want you to get to a place of freedom where you know you make the decisions, and when you don't and you don't like the decision, you are very capable and competent to course correct. And we can avoid some of the decision fatigue and some of the decision discontentment by knowing that there's no such thing as a perfect choice and by being all in on the choice you make. So, what choice have you most recently made? I want to hear that you had to make a decision. It was hard. It could have even, look, every time you practice deciding between 2 restaurants, between which 2 courses to take in your syllabus and your curriculum that year, every time you make a decision, no matter how big and how small, what flights you need to take to that trip to Rome that you're booking. Does not matter. Every time you say, yes, that's a good choice, and you commit, and I want you to tell yourself, good job. Good job, me, made a good, firm decision. Every time you affirm it in yourself that you are good at making decisions, you are building your decision-making skills and your trust in them. And you go, hey, that's a good flight because I make good decisions. That's going to be really good for my family and I to set that up. And you just accept, you decide, and you move forward. And every time you celebrate those little decisions, the bigger decisions become easier and easier to get. So I don't care how big, how small, what is the most recent decision that you felt yourself waffling between, but that you went, maybe it's after this video, we went, okay, giving myself 5 minutes, I'm gonna make a choice, I'm gonna lock in that decision, and then I want you to put in the comments and tell me below what decision this video helped you make or helped you feel better and more confident about. And as always, if you want more resources on how to make better decisions, how to increase your self-trust, how to be firm and bold with your voice, how to improve your relationship with yourself and your understanding of the thoughts that you're thinking and your self-trust, there is no better place to go than the most encouraging place on the internet, which is the College of Confidence. Go to collegeofconfidence.com to get started, or I have the link below in the comments. And of course, you can always come hang out with me on the Confidence Podcast. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, it is the most popular podcast on the internet for confidence, for all things confidence. I will see you there, and I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you in the comments. I'm seeing you everywhere. Thanks for letting me be in your life.